So I went for a ride on Sunday and got back in the dark and it was really cold. And so I haven't washed my bike, which is like rule one of bike washing. Always wash your bike as soon as you get home. It's so much easier. It is what it is. And I thought today I would just show you how I wash my bike, the quick process that I use. It doesn't take very long and I do this literally after every single ride. As you can probably guess, it's very cold today. I think it's like 0 degrees. It's probably a bad idea to wash my bike. I might even find that the tap just won't work. This is not going to be like a tutorial type video. It's more just going to be showing you how I wash my bike. Some slow-mo, hopefully just an enjoyable watch. But I will very quickly just tell you the things that I use. The only things that I really need to clean my bike are the following. So I have one of these spray bottles. This one is a muck off, but it's not muck off that is inside it. It's just fairy liquid, like washing up liquid, and some water. I have 2 sponges. One of them is a clean sponge. One of them is a very dirty sponge, and these get used for 2 different things. Then I have like a microfibre cloth. These are great. And a hose. I do have a brush that I sometimes use, but I left that in the car and Danny has the car. So I'm not going to be using that today. That's pretty much everything that you need to wash the bike. You need a bucket and some soapy water, but I'm not sure that I need to explain that. The other thing I'm going to use today are these gloves, because it's so cold that I think if my hand touches any cold water, I'm going to freeze to death. So I'm going to wear these very attractive gloves. Right, first step is to spray all of the bike down with this. I guess it's kind of like a homemade degreaser. It just gets everything wet and just detaches some of that dirt that is on the bike. Okay, next is to check whether this hose hasn't frozen. So the hose has frozen. I should have checked that at the start of this process. I'm going to try and defrost the hose first, and then if not, I'm going to be washing with a bucket today. Well, that's done nothing. Okay, it's not normally like this, but it's progress. There's definitely ice in there somewhere because that's freezing. Maybe round 2 of the hot bucket is going to do it. Working. Okay, we can now move on. So I'm just spraying all of the mud off and all the soap, and this should remove like most of the dirt, especially if your bike's already pretty clean. Now, if I'd washed the bike when I got home from the ride, then it would pretty much be like clean of mud, and some soapy water and a sponge will get it back to pristine. But because some of it's dried in, it's going to be a little bit harder work today. Okay, so I've got some hot soapy water. I'm going to use my clean sponge and just basically do like the frame and the wheels, and then we'll sort the drivetrain out after that. I'm just going to put like a little bit of GT85 on the drivetrain just to loosen up some of that like grime and oil. But most of the time, like I said, if I clean it straight after a ride, I don't even need to do that. So this is Muck-Off's version of GT85. But yeah, it's basically like a degreaser spray, and it's also good for areas of the bike that are like small moving parts, so like springs and stuff like that in the pedals or in the rear mech. This stuff is good just to make sure that everything's nice and loose as well. Just keep it away from your disc brakes though. Okay, next step, I'm going to take the dirty cloth, same soapy water, and just give like the chain, the rear mech, the chain set, the cassette, like all of those like dirty grimy parts a once over with this, and then hopefully they'll be clean enough that I can then use the clean cloth. Sometimes this is where I use my brush because it's quite handy to get rid of some of that mud, but I don't have it, and today this is doing just fine. In terms of the washing part, that's us pretty much done. And if I hadn't been filming, I think that would maybe have taken 7 minutes or something like that. Super quick. Last thing I'll do is just spray it off again with the hose to get rid of all the bubbles, especially the disc brakes. You've got to make sure, because I'm quite liberal, I'll use soapy water in the disc brakes, no problem, just to give them like a nice clean. But you need to make sure that you use the hose to get all of the soap out, or else you'll end up with squeaky disc brakes. How cool were those shots? I didn't know washing your bike could be so fun. Next thing to do is to just wipe it all down. Essentially, I'm just trying to get rid of the water as much as I can. I will take it inside to dry, but the more you can do with this, the better. And I think it makes the bike look a little bit better. You don't end up with those like water streaks and stuff that sometimes you end up with when you just leave your bike to drip dry, or your car. So that's the next thing, and then we're pretty much there. Okay, I thought I would do right at the end a summary of all of that. So if you want to try this, come back to the video, maybe hit subscribe while you're on your way, and then just watch from this part of the video and I'll do a quick summary of everything that you need and how to do it. Firstly, the things that you need. Get yourself a spray. It doesn't need to be muck off, it can be anything like this, and fill it with soapy water. You need to get 2 sponges, a clean one and a not so clean one. You need a microfibre cloth, ideally with a clean side and with a dirty side. You need a hose or a bucket of clean cold water, and then some GT85 or some sort of degreaser is a nice to have, but it's not an essential. And the other thing that I haven't mentioned that is quite handy is the stand. They are a little pricey, you don't need them, but it does make this whole process so much easier. Okay, the steps. Step 1, you want to spray down the bike with this soapy water, and then leave it to set and to do its work for about 5 minutes. In that 5 minutes, go and fill up a bucket with some hot soapy water, and then come back out to the bike. Spray the whole bike down with the hose or with a clean bucket of water to get rid of all that initial soap. Then take your clean sponge, and with the hot soapy water you want to wash the entire bike down. Then for the dirty stuff like the drivetrain, grab your dirty sponge and give all of that stuff a good wipe. If you've got a brush, then you might want to do that as well, just to get into some of the harder to reach areas. Once you've done that, spray the whole bike down again with the hose or some cold fresh water, and then you're going to use your microfibre cloth to dry the whole thing and just make sure that you've got rid of all that dirt. Then you might want to leave your bike to dry outside for a little bit, or bring it back into the house, and when it's completely dry you want to re-lube and maybe just spray some of those small moving parts with the GT85, and then you get to enjoy a very clean, very nice looking bike like that one. So that is my very quick bike wash process. It usually does take less than 10 minutes, and 100% do it when you get back from a ride, and it will make your life so much easier. If you do try it, let us know down in the comments below how you find it, and if there's anything that I've missed, anything that you do that makes a difference, then let us all know down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'm going to leave you with some epic B-roll because I'm so sad that I actually think that's cool. Anyway, enjoy the footage and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.